What is good? What is good for the culture family? You guys can see me. So we got a little stream overlay today, but it ain't nothing too crazy. It's not too crazy though. But we are gonna hop into the markets. Actually, first let's take a look at what we got for today in terms of our news. Because we have news every day this week. So we have new home sales in 28 minutes. So that should add some volume at 10 a.m. The 4 hour candle close. All right. So let's actually take a look at the charts and what we see happening here. Let me pull it up on my phone too. Yeah, it's loading on my phone. So we're looking at NQ here, or NAS 100, whatever you want to call it. I traded both on the Forex side and on the future side. Give me 1 second. All right, there we go. So I traded on the Forex side and the future side. What do we see happening? Let's take a look at the 4 hour time frame and what's going on in 4 hour. So actually, let's go back start from the daily. So the previous daily candle did in fact close as a bullish candle. So we're anticipating that the smaller time frame will show that confirmation with the creation of higher highs and higher lows. Now this previous 4 hour candle closed as a bearish candle. It appears this current 4 hour candle may close as a 4 hour bullish candle as well. So the previous 4 hour candle closes a bullish candle. Current 4 hour candle is bullish as well. Now, what do we see happen here? So price came, it created a low that swept these lows here, saying that price looked like it was going to be in a bearish structure. This was just a false break and sweep here. Then what do we see happen? We had a 30-minute key high get created. Now, what does that mean? That price is now still in a relative bullish trend, but now we're starting to see a corrective structure back down as the previous two 30-minute candles closed bearish. So let's dial down to the smaller time frame and analyze the smaller time frame structure. Now I would be more inclined to taking a buy today, so we're gonna have to be patient waiting for our corrective structure, looking for that continuation of what our larger time frames are already showing us. Now what are we seeing here on the smaller time frame is that we had a low get created, a high, and then a lower low. So in order for this to be a viable entry for me, to take a possible buy, this high has to get swept here, and then price would need to then come back down and correct into this area here for then a continuation, and I'll look to sweep the high or whatever the high is that's created if we get a break above this 5-minute high here. Just looking for that continuation, right? Current 4 hour candle appears that it's going to close bullish. We still have to wait for the candle to close, so a lot of time left that we could see something happen here, but I don't anticipate, with all the volume that we've had and all the buying pressure, that price is going to flip at this current level. We are at a resistance level here on the small or on this larger time frame, so that could be some of the reason why we're starting to see a pullback. What would indicate a possible flip? Well, I would not be looking for sales until we get a break below this 1 hour key low here, right? Because anything that I'd be looking for to buy would be, or to sell, excuse me, would be corrective until we get this break of this low here. Then we could start to see a bigger move to the downside, filling this gap that we had created up this week, right? And gaps get filled. This one pushed up before it got filled, but this will get filled. It's just a matter of how long will it take, essentially, in terms of how high price will go. But as of right now, in the current market structure that we're in, price is remaining in a bullish market structure. We're just in a lower time frame corrective wave. I'm gonna go ahead and set an alert Let's see. Oh, price. If price breaks this low here, this would be the high that I need to get broken in order for me to look for my possible buy positions. So let's just see if we can get that sweep. Is price going to go ahead and break this low here? And where do we need price? Price would have to come all the way back down here for this 4-hour candle to close bearish. Not likely, but that's where this would need to come for the 4-hour to flip. This is also a great retest level. Like, I would love to see price come down back into this level, not with this current 4-hour candle, but you know, for this 4-hour candle to close bullish, and then the next 4-hour candle to tap into this level here, and then we see a sweep and a continuation to push into the highs. You can see the lower time frame just confirming that price is still on this 1 minute time frame bearish trend. So like I said, I won't be looking for sales until we get a larger time frame sweep of an area. But as of right now, we are getting this move here. So let's actually open up. You'll see if we open up one of my favorite indicators here, this FX market session. And I don't use indicators generally, but you can see what the high and the low of, you know, our session was, right? So the opening range, this was the high, this was the low got swept first, right? So now what are we expecting? That price can continue pushing bullish throughout the day. What happened yesterday? If we take a look here, what happened? So you can see in our session yesterday what happened. This was our opening range here. Price swept the low, and then it swept the high and continued bullish throughout the rest of the day. That was likewise with what we seen happen on Friday and on Thursday. Let's go to Friday. What happened? Price, we had the opening range, then we swept the low, broke through the high then, and then price continued pushing bullish, right? So this is a repeated pattern that we've seen happen in the markets at this time on the open, where we've gotten this low sweep and then a continuation of the bullish move. So that's what we're waiting for, is that essentially the same exact move, and the sweep will be indicated by a change of character on the smaller time frame. So once we get our change of character on the smaller time frame, or change of trend direction, whatever you would like to call it, to me it's not as important of what you call it, but more so that you understand what it is. And when this trend goes from being creating lower lows and lower highs to creating higher highs and higher lows, that's when we'll look to scale into our buy position and target the previous high. So we just got to be patient from this point, just waiting for price to reach our targets. And this is something that I'll be loading up on a couple of different accounts. So once we do in fact get our entry, and that's just how we'll go from there. Let me fix my camera up over here so you guys can see a little bit better of me, just a little bit. All right. But yeah, so this is what we will be waiting for. We just got to be patient for the structure to show itself. Yeah. I want to make sure that I got this up on all my accounts. All right, so the 1 minute looks like it's about to go ahead and create this high potentially, right? We got to see how we need price to actually go and break the high. As of right now, this is in a bearish corrective structure. a trend of creating lower lows and lower highs until we get this high break here. That will result in a flip going into our session. Let me see. Oh, okay. So I gotta connect this account here. Take profit. I'm gonna have to get like some background music or something going, so that we keep the vibes light. Keep the vibes light. Extra mellow. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we don't have to be here for a long time today. We can get this quick move and call it a day. I just do one and done, right? So we're just looking to get one position in a day in our session time and then go about our day. There's other things that you can do, spend your time on, get away from the charts. It's not ideal to be in front of the charts all day long, or for the entire rest of the day, right? You want to do other things with your time. That's the whole purpose of why we are traders and become traders, is because we want that freedom back, time freedom, financial freedom. That's what that's for. So it doesn't do you no good to give it all the way back on the charts, especially to turn a positive day into a losing day. Especially if we get that first trade to be a winner, then there's no reason to continue trading for the rest of the day. We won the day. Now you can go win the day in other areas of your life. So we got this sweep of this high here. Price is forming a correction. It should come back to pull through this low right here, because we see we don't got no bottom wick here. Oh, no. I stand corrected. It does have a bottom wick. Let's look at the larger time frame. 5-minute bullish closure. 30-minute closes in 15. Current 1 hour. Yeah, and I would love to take an entry at the start of the session. Okay, we're coming into our area here. Our area of interest. Where we could be looking for some buys. And we got a sweep of the low. So that just confirms that price is still in a bearish trend. We just swept this low here. We don't want to see this. So we had our high get taken out, our low get taken out here. Let's pull up the market sessions. And a huge spike here. But what do we know? The overall structure, this is the overall structure key low, right? This is our 30-minute key low. So everything within this here still remains a corrective structure. So let me pull this. What do I mean by that? Why? Because we had a high get created here. We had a low, swept this low here, but then we got this high broken again. So this 30-minute time frame is in a bullish wave. We have an impulsive move here, followed by a corrective structure wave, which is what appears to be here. So what do we have? We just had a lower time frame sweep of a high and low, took out the high, took out the low here. Prices in a technical bearish trend into a high sweep. So this is what we call a complex market structure, but the overall time frame on the 15-minute just closed bearish. So we could see this steeper move to the downside. I would love to, like I said, see this move down here for then a continuation. The 4-hour candle is going to close here in the next 15 minutes. So it's unless this current 4-hour or 15-minute or unless this current 15-minute candle here drops all the way below let's see, this low here, this 4 hour candle is going to close bullish, which means we remain in a bullish market structure on a larger time frame in alignment with what the previous daily is doing. Now obviously, if we take a look here, price had a huge impulsive move to the downside on the daily time frame, and we're seeing a correction of that move, right? That broke through some key lows here. We have some areas of interest that price could tap into based off of how we've seen the markets react. Now, where are we at on the weekly time frame? Previous weekly closed bullish after the weekly before rejected off of key level of demand. So these are all confirmations that the larger time frame is in a bullish structure and that we should be looking for buys. That's why I haven't taken any, corrective sales. And I actually haven't taken sales on Nas in quite some time. We've just been taking buys, and as you can see, price has just been creating higher highs and higher lows for quite some time. Since last Tuesday, I believe, we had the sell move on Monday, and then after that we just started to see the daily start to buy up here, and so we've just been looking for buy positions. That's how you want to go about in capitalizing. The trend is your friend. What's going to give you the highest risk to reward? Any sell position that you see in this bullish trend, or taking buy positions in this bullish trend? Well, you got a higher chance of being successful by taking buys in this bullish trend, looking to target the higher highs that get created once you get to your key areas of interest. Yesterday, there was really no pullbacks that truly happened. There was one real move that happened yesterday that we would have been able to capitalize on, but besides that, price just continued to create higher highs and higher lows on the smaller time frame, where we had this high get created, a low, new high, new low, new high, new low, created a high, we swept this low, pushed back up, and this on the 1 minute time frame is where we started to look at the markets, right? So this is where we started to look at the markets. When we had this sweep of this low, this was our opening range. We swept the low, then it swept the high here, corrected, and then price just began to create higher highs and higher lows throughout the rest of the session, right? And with only one opportunity for us to capitalize on. Though we've seen all of these moves here, the only opportunity that I could have capitalized on was this one here, where price comes down to our key area of interest here. And then what do we see happen? We got a low created. We had this high, a higher low, a higher high. Price comes back down. It rejects off this area. We get our bearish or our bullish candle closure. This would have been the only ideal entry that we would have been able to get yesterday, in a relatively, extremely bullish market. Not a relatively bullish, extremely bullish. We see that we had no real larger time frame correction that occurred yesterday. If you take a look here, at the 1 hour time frame, price just opened bullish, and it pretty much closed bullish up until that last possible entry that we've seen. We got a correction, and then price began to range off here. But besides that, that's just what that is. So we are waiting here for a possible buy move as price begins to form its larger time frame correction. You can see that this 15-minute candle did in fact fill the wick and swept this low. This would have been a corrective based model. Let's see if there would have been actually any entry with the sweep of this low here. I mean, this would have been your entry candles, kind of looking like the trade would have only ran for a 1-to-1, and this is why I'm very strict with my entry model, right? So I'm not looking to take a trade that's going to offer me only a 1-to-1 risk to reward that goes against the larger time frame trend, right? So even though that this is a setup that abides by our correction based strategy, this wouldn't offer a risk to reward that would be ideal for taking a trade against the trend. So for me, I just really want to be patient and waiting for the high probability setups, the high probability moves, which we could see at the close of this current 4-hour candle, potentially on our next 4-hour candle. Now, if price begins to sweep this low here at 20,2930 levels, that's where I'll start to look for possible sell positions. That means we had this high get created, we sweep these lows here, a correction back up and a continuation down. We can start to see this move from yesterday get corrected and potentially this gap get filled. So that's at that point I'd like to take sales. But in terms of this correction based structure here that we got going on, I'm okay off of that, and I'll just be waiting for the possible buys. What's good? It has been quite some time. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely been quite some time. And I've been here. I've been trading live, or not trading live, I should say, but I have been trading like every single day. Just haven't been going live for absolutely no reason. Definitely needed to be live. So I got a memo that, people are interested and want to see us go live. So we're just going to go live with this. That's what we're going to do. It's not like I don't sit here every day and trade anyway. So if you guys hanging out here, hopefully we'll grow this account in this community larger to where we'll have a whole bunch of people, asking questions and passing funding accounts and things like that. So lots of big things planned, getting payouts, all that types of things, live withdrawals. That is the plan for the future. So just waiting here. Next 8 minutes, this candle will close. Let's actually take a look here. Now, what do we want to see? We want to see a smaller time frame flip or a 5 minute candle bullish closure. Um, Definitely want to wait though for this 4 hour candle to close, right? Because what do we expect to happen for the next 4 hour candle? A bottom wick to be formed and then price to begin to fill this upper wick here. Currently, we have we have news coming out at 10 too. So just another confirmation that we could have some volume and a spike that we don't want to necessarily be in for. We'll let the spike play out, and then we capitalize on the volume following the spike. It's at those times where you get, potentially liquidity grabs and things like that. And I don't want to be in when we have that type of market movement, preferably for myself. Okay, so I got a little bit of time to log in here. So some things that I should have done yesterday that I didn't do is figure out how to get a copy trader and just learning the whole system of using a copy trader. Waiting for this to log me in. Okay, so you can see how this candle is closing bullish. Let's see if we can get a break above this 1 minute high here. And then a possible bullish flip. Now, based on what this corrective structure is, what is more likely to happen? We see a potential bearish candle close and then another move to sweep the low here, right? But I don't want to get in a corrective based trade. Let's actually set it up and see what it would look like here. So let's say this 1 minute candle closed as a bearish candle closure. This would be likely what we would see happen, another move to the downside. What do I want to see happen? A break above this high, a correction back down, and then a continuation for the next 4 hour candle to fill this top wick of the previous 4 hour candle and break the 4 hour high. Why isn't it connecting me? One of my accounts isn't logging me in. I'm trying to kind of figure out why. All right, so we just got that sweep of that high. That's a great sign. 5 minute candle just closed as a bullish candle here. Let's see if we can get a 1 minute pullback correction and then a continuation. Price may begin to just go from here. If it does break the high, then we'll look for our scalable position and then a continuation. We definitely want to be patient to wait for our confirmation. And with the next 4 hour candle, we could just see price. You can see price is just starting to fill this wick here now. But waiting for that extra step of confirmation is just so crucial, right? So crucial. We had our opening range low swept. And this is not an exact thing, right? So this doesn't happen every single day. We've just seen it consistently happening for the past couple of weeks. I haven't tested it further back enough to know how it does over a year basis, over a 3 year basis, anything like that. I just know consistently over the past couple of weeks it has been executing like that. I would say 75% of the time, 75-80% of the time, which is what we see playing out here currently. As price broke this high here, we get a potential correction back into this level, a bullish candle closed. That will be aligned with what I wanted to take. I would need to see, a corrective structure begin to form, and then that and why I wouldn't just take let's say an entry from this current 5 minute candle from this level, even though we've gotten a bullish 5 minute candle closure or bullish engulfing 5 minute candle closure, is because price hasn't tapped into my premium zone, right? So if we were at this low here and price closed as a 5 minute bullish candle, then I would be looking to take buys from our premium zone. We tapped into an area of interest, which is a level of resistance where we could see a flip at, but for me to be able to take entries, I need to see that smaller time frame shift, right? So we just got the smaller time frame shift. So my next step of confirmation is now a correction back down for my entry, and then I'll look for a continuation back to break the high. If price doesn't come back down and give me that correction for the continuation, then that's just not my entry and it's not my trade, right? I had to understand that yesterday with the trades that we had, because we had 4 setups that, just like this, price forms a correction and then goes to the target profit, but they never offer my entry. And I told you that there was only one setup yesterday that actually offered my entry, and that was this setup here where price came back down to my key area of interest. We did see that smaller time frame flip, and then I stepped away as price closed bearish here. Once we closed bearish, the 5 minute candle had closed bearish, I went away and stepped away, assuming that price will break through this low and that we would get a flip, and then I'll have a little bit of time there. And after 3 hours of waiting, finally our setup happened and I wasn't there. And so what happened from that, I ended up taking a trade in an area of interest here that I shouldn't have and wound up losing it. And what happened? Price broke through that low before seeing my confirmation, and then we corrected back up and then broke the low again, which is the sell move correctively that I should have taken, besides if I would have just waited. But at that point, was on tilt, and just poor mental discipline there yesterday. So we're going to make sure that we don't abide by that same poor mental discipline. And we're going to go ahead and execute based off of what the strategy says that we need to execute off of. All right, so 10 a.m. we just had a news release. Price just spiked up. Let's see what happens. It's more likely that we get a fill, of this high, right? Why? Because that's what the direction of the trend is. News just add volume to an already predetermined trend. But I would love to see this spike up and a correction back down into this area here, right? Because then now we can go ahead and take our entries if we get a 1 minute candle closing bullish within this area. So now we want to see this correction. See if we can get a steeper move down. That would be ideal. There we go. So as long as price does not break this low here, when we get our bullish candle signal, hopefully at this area, that's when we'll be looking to take our buys. I'll set my stops below the low of the candle and set my target profit high at the 4-hour high, right? And I'm trying to figure out why this account won't log me in over here, because that is kind of blowing me. For whatever reason, this account is just not trying to let me connect here. All right, let's see what we get here. We're starting to come into that premium zone. All right, is this going to be our candle here? We need to wait for the candle to close. This is why you got to wait for that candle to close. That last couple of seconds might get you. You know what I'm saying? Got to wait for the candle to close. All right, so we just tapped into the premium zone. This is a great buy entry location if we get our candle confirmation. Just being patient for the candle confirmation. No confirmation yet. All right. And push back bearish. Waiting. Nope, candle closed bearish. That's not my confirmation. We have to wait for the confirmation. Okay, this is looking good. Is price gonna move too far without us though? 26 seconds. All right. Waiting on a buy. What just happened? No. Buy. Maintenance? Oh.
Ain't no freaking way, bro.
Wow, guys. Okay, so literally you guys just seen that. The maintenance. That's ridiculous. I guess Tradeovate is having maintenance done, which is why I can't log into this one account, and I guess we can't trade. Like what?
Gang.
What?
What is that, bro?
Maintenance trade of eight like during the session time is crazy. During the session time is crazy. Trade of eight during the session time is crazy. I took it on another account that's with Trade Locker, but like that's ridiculous, dude. That's ridiculous.
Bro, that's crazy, bro. Come on.
That's ridiculous. So that was our entry confirmation. Stops is now break even on this other account here. Price should just continue with volume to push up. That's kind of crazy, guys. I can't believe that just happened. That's why I can't log into this account over here, which is it makes way more sense now. That's unfortunate. That is quite unfortunate. Yeah, so I have it on one account, break even, risk free, but that's not ideal, right? That is not ideal what we want to see during the session time trade of eight, right? Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? We're missing out on opportunities and money because of this, right? That's crazy. That is crazy. Maintenance. I wonder if they sent out like an email or something that they would be doing maintenance today during, the session time. Like, price would be running on this account here. Like, that's just ridiculous. This is something that just shouldn't happen. And, it is what it is. I guess it's a part of the game. But, like, right now to have maintenance is just ridiculous, honestly. It's just ridiculous. This trade would be running roughly, $500 profit right now. We missed out on $500 and roughly $1,000 today because TradeOvate is doing updates on their system. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I have this account, like I said, I have it on another account that's not a futures firm with TradeOvate, but with Trade Locker. But this is just, it's just something that shouldn't happen. Something that we shouldn't have to worry about. Being able to execute on a position in our session time. We sat here and waited for all of this and just but so now we just gotta wait. Hopefully there's another opportunity that presents itself. Like I said, this trade would have already been risk free. I have it risk free on one of my other accounts here. It's just that's just unfortunate. That is mad unfortunate. It just shouldn't be something that happens, man. It shouldn't be something that happens. Yo, what's good, Seuss? What's good, my boy? I caught the trade on the Funder Pro account, but like, this is sick. We already moved stops to break even, so whatever happens with the trade happens. 4-hour candle, we want to see a flip and fill. But that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, what can I do, right? Like, we sit here, we wait, and as soon as we go to execute, servers are down. Like, I don't know what more we could do. So hopefully we get another opportunity, but this is sour, right? This is sour, especially when you sit here and you wait. It's not ideal, but hopefully we can still swing some profits. Take profit, gets hit. We get it on this one account here, being that we do see this continue on bullish. It's unfortunate though. It is definitely not ideal. We would be running about a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward. So like, You know, this trade should be running for like $1,200 profit, and instead, it is sickening. That blew me. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. That blew me. That just blew me. I mean, like I said, I was able to catch it on this account, but like two accounts, and I was wondering why I couldn't log in. Like y'all see me struggling to log in over here on this account, and you know, this is $1,200 missed out on because I couldn't capitalize on the opportunity. Like, and I don't want to take, you know, attempt at another trade. Let's see when price when they finally lets me in. I'm assuming that we'll be able to trade now. Like, but it's just not working for whatever reason. So that just irritated me a little bit, a little bit, guys, a little bit. Right? Let me sip my water. Um, yeah, that that blew me. That definitely did just blow me. So we're risk free though on this trade. Still have the position here, a position. Um, would have loved to take profit on this account here, right? Get up about $500-600, close potentially. Well, I was only gonna get in on two contracts, so I wouldn't have been able to take any partials. So likely would have just been trailing our stops here, below this low, securing at least about a $200 profit on the day, and letting that go. Letting that go. What can you do, man? When you try your best, but you don't succeed. Session disconnected. Yeah, sure. It's just one of those days, chat. Just one of those days. Goodness gracious. So I guess we'll just sit here and wait for, you know, Tradeovate to get their servers back on. But hopefully you guys was, you know, you understand why I was gonna take this move at this area of interest. You know why it's actually even playing out, like, because it abided by all the rules of the system, right? And the rules of the system say wait for price to, you know, we're looking to trade in the direction of the larger time frame trend. You good, and you know, look for that continuation. So I keep saying that I have it up on my account here, so I'll show you guys the trade that I have on the other account. Quite unfortunate, running about $1,300 profit, um, but just man, wow, can't believe it. That's what was the reality of today. So let me see if I can't pull it up here. Give me a second, cause I gotta create a whole new thing. Like this is that shouldn't have happened, right? That shouldn't have happened, gang. It's I will be making a video about this because that's just ridiculous. Like, still can't log into my account over here. Been trying. Let's see if I can log in now. And if it wasn't recorded, nobody would believe it. Like, but I tell you, sometimes it's not even the markets, right? Sometimes you have a beautiful setup and you know the platform that you use. Let me close this window because they're out here doing the line. I'm sure that is loud. Okay, so okay, so now it's working. Great. it's a little too late for that, but now it's working because I could just log in on this account here. So for whatever reason, for whatever rhyme or reason, it just didn't work. Which just blows. This trade would be running about a one, or this trade is running because I have it over here. It's running about a one, a little over 1 to 2 risk to reward. Looking for take profit to be hit. Um, yeah, I don't know what to tell you guys, honestly. I wish I had words for it. Oh, I just got taken out on that trade. I had my stop set above this high here for that continuation. I definitely could have moved it back up to here and waited. Um, but I'll drop likely a screenshot or something in the chat of the move. Like this is bruh, I just do not like missing it because there's other accounts that I'm looking to trade. I have a whole bunch of other accounts that I'm looking to, get past. And when stuff like this happens, it just prolongs it. Like I don't want to sit here waiting for forever. Like I said to you guys early on, I was looking to get one good trade and be done. We could be done with our session by now, but now I'm still here, and I'm kind of tilted a little bit off of the error because I mean, you expect if you sign up with a firm or you sign up with a company that you will be able to execute with no flaws, right? And obviously, there's times where things happen, but that just costs $1,200, right? And not just $1,200. We're talking $1,200 across multiple accounts. So it's like, um, we're talking, yeah, a lot of money missed with that there, and that doesn't sit well with me. But take profit hit on this other account. Thank God for having multiple accounts, right? I thank the Lord for that. Thank the Lord for having this skill. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna just end it there. Like, I'm gonna hold on. Let me show you guys. The trade, if I can pull it up here, that I took. Order history, close positions. Yeah, so I made $1,800 on that trade. Um, let's see. I'll post a picture of it into the Telegram because I don't know how to set it up on my OBS to screen share trade locker. And then I might have to resize it and everything. But I'll drop a picture in the Telegram. If you want to join the Telegram, the link is in the description below. Today's trade I caught a good trade today, but Trade of 8 really hold us a little bit on that move there. Would have been able to make at least across all of these, and all of my futures accounts are through Trade of 8. So I have accounts with different firms, but I use Trade of 8 as my source there. So what we have ran at the take profit of this high. Stop. Let's take a look. Here, stop loss below this low. Take profit about this high. So about $1,000 on the day missed out on. Because of, you know, because of Trade of 8, man. Because of Trade of 8. All right, but that's gonna wrap up today's session. What time is it? About 10:19. Yeah, much better than yesterday's session. Caught a dub today. Hopefully you were able to capitalize on this move alongside me. Hopefully you weren't on Trade of 8 and didn't have that execution problem that we had. But yeah. So let's go through a quick breakdown of what the move was, why I was looking for the move. Price had created this high, created a low here, right? We were looking for either a smaller time frame flip or for price to come into my key area of interest and then show our signal candle. So what did we get first? We actually got the smaller time frame flip. Price had created this high, created a low, created a new high, created a lower low, swept the high, swept the low. Okay, boom. We was like, that was a liquidity grab. We're glad we're not in it. Technical downtrend still because we had the high sweep, false breakout, because then we had the low get swept immediately after. So price still remains in a bearish trend. This is what we would refer to as a liquidity grab. Now we had a correction back up, and then a new low get created. That becomes the key high here, right? So then what happened? Price pushed up, broke through that key high, formed a corrective structure at the key area of interest. That is our change of character, our change in trend direction. And then we look to take buys at this area for price to go ahead and break through the high. And I generally target the high that is created. So, right, this was the high that was created. That's my target. Why? Because a lot of times you can get a steeper corrective structure to the downside and then a continuation. And I never want to deal with that, right? Is it likely that this high gets broken? Yes, we could potentially see another correction and continuation. But for me, I'm done. Tradeovate, it did a slime on the 2 accounts, but we was able to catch it on 1. So that's all right with me, right? That is all right with me. A profitable day. We'll keep it going. So a very, very simple system, a very simple setup. Very easy day, nice day. It only took, it didn't take too long. We were on here all day. So I hope to catch you guys in the next live stream. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you got some type of value out of this stream for sure. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. I will catch you guys in the next one.